Good evening and welcome to this very special AYM Alumni event.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
My name is Mahaliah Edwards and I'm an Alumni Trustee at Awards for Young Musicians. AYM helped me to buy a better quality violin when I joined the Purcell School at 16. I'm also a mentor on AYM's fantastic Talent to Talent mentoring program.
I'm also an Alumni Trustee and my name's Caius. AYM helped me out with funding for my piano lessons when I was in my mid-teens, which helped me to get my organ playing to a much higher standard. I'm now in my third year as an organ scholar at Cambridge University.
Since graduating from the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire in 2019, I'm having a great time as both a performer in a range of ensembles, including classical and folk music, and as a music educator in the Nottingham Music Hub.
Music education is my passion. I run all sorts of community music programs over the last few years and intend to make it my career once I graduate this summer. Tonight, we're catching up with several of our alumni musicians. Some are still studying, while others are a few years into their musical careers. All were supported via our awards programme, and given their instruments, something of a string extravaganza. Musical talent is everywhere, but more than ever, opportunity isn't. Family finances and other obstacles too often get in the way. AYM is here to change this.
It's brilliant that so many of our fantastic supporters are able to join us. If you're new to AYM, we hope this event will inspire you to get involved. If you'd like to chat with us during the show, please join us on Twitter using the hashtag #GivingTalents_a_chance. First up is the fabulous violinist, 26-year-old Mathilde Milwidsky, who's taken a break from recording her first unaccompanied solo album to perform for us tonight. We supported Mathilde for 8 years, helping fund her violin lessons. Many of you will have enjoyed her performances at our various AYM concerts, including the House of Commons and at the home of Sir Vernon Ellis. Her debut album was released in 2020 when she was named Classical Music Magazine's Artist of the Month. Her new unaccompanied album will be released this summer on the Guild label.
Hi, my name is Mathilde Milwidsky. I'm a violinist from London, and I'm now back after my postgraduate studies in Munich. For 8 years, AYM helped to contribute towards the cost of my private violin lessons, and I'm so happy to be playing today in this online concert for them. I'll be playing Telemann's Fantasia No. 7 in E flat. He wrote 12 fantasias for solo violin. They were published 15 years after the first appearance of Bach's solo sonatas and partitas. And I just think his way with melody is absolutely incredible. There's a profound beauty to his writing, and you can hear a very particular bass line all the way through. I hope you enjoy.
Wasn't that beautiful? Thank you so much, Mathilde.
Next, I'm really pleased to share with you a recent conversation I had with alumna cellist Zara Hudson-Kozdoj. Zara was also supported by AYM for 8 years.
Hey May, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I feel like you have maybe a different story in terms of like how you got started, why, parents' input and things like that.
My parents are both musicals, so I had that really helpful early beginning know-how. I started when I was 6, and then the teacher said, come back in a year, she's tiny. So I properly started when I was 7. I had an amazing teacher called Jo Levine. It was just like a joy going to her house. My mum was really supportive. I'd always get like sweeties when I practiced. It was just a really good start. And the reason why my mum was so into it was because we didn't have a lot of money, and she was really keen for us to go, me and my sister, to private secondary schools. So she put a lot of time, effort, blood, sweat and tears, mine and hers, into helping me practice between the ages of 7 and 11. And then I went to Junior Guildhall from the age of 9. I went to Chet's Teaching School of Music when I was 16. And I moved back to London when I was 18. I got a scholarship to the RCM, the Royal College, and I've just finished 6 years there because I was there for my undergrad and then I was there for my master's.
My parents aren't musical in the sense that they play instruments, but my family's like just the culture of being like Afro-Caribbean or Caribbean is like so just there's music all the time. So I kind of had that ingrained. Started having lessons properly when I was at secondary school, but they were only like 20 minutes long. I got into Purcell and I was playing on like a stentor.
Like, although you didn't know what you didn't know, if you were playing a Stradivarius on your audition, you'd feel it. My cello, which I still play on today, which I bought when I was 12 with funding from AYM, is the best cello I've ever played. I've tried so many other ones like for fun and like rehearsals, whatever, and I'm like, it's just not cutting it.
When I first found out about AYM, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually worth it. Like someone actually thinks that I'm worth spending money on, because before I just thought, well, my technique's a bit bad because I haven't had a good teacher, I just didn't know or whatever. But actually for someone to kind of give you a bit of validation, like, you know, you're worth spending the money on, or, you know, we see the potential here. I think applying for the money for the violin that I did apply for AYM, that was transformational to my playing. Transformational. I wanted to talk about identity because, well, let's face it, Black people in the kind of classical industry, it's a rarity.
I haven't had any overtly racist comments made. I haven't felt like left out. I haven't felt like I haven't got scholarships or auditions because of my race necessarily. If anything, it's kind of gone the other way, where like all the institutions that I've attended have been extremely happy to have me on the prospectus cover of everything. And of course I don't mind. Like that's problematic if you're just banding it around on your websites and then you come into the institution, you don't see people like that at all.
Because someone could, you know, potentially see that and think, oh my gosh, that is a place for me, and then kind of have a complete opposite experience.
Being in Chineke has opened my eyes. I didn't really feel that way about it when I was growing up, being the only Black person in every course, orchestra, school, Guildhall, college, whatever. But like when I'm in Chineke and I'm in the room and like, I feel like everybody looks like me, I was like, wow, this is what white people feel like all the time.
Obviously Nottingham's multicultural, but in the specific area I lived in, we were kind of like the only Black family. And so going into kind of the classical profession, I didn't really feel like a way about it because I'd just always been the only Black person. I never kind of was like, oh, I feel lonely, or I feel like I'm the only one, or I've got no one to talk to. But I do think it's important to kind of have that representation, to see other people who kind of might have similar provenances to you, just, you know, be kind of in areas that are respectable or areas that are aspirational.
Which is why Sheku, what he's done, like by winning the competition, by becoming almost like a celebrity, breaking the boundary of classical music, like everyone knows who he is, not just people within our industry. And I think that's gonna have made a world of difference. Like people that wouldn't even know what a cello is now like are considering like their child could do that, like why not?
If we want to see greater diversity socioeconomically, we have to include music that people listen to and actually enjoy.
The spice of my working life is not purely playing Beethoven Symphony No. 6 like for the 150th time. Like, it's just like variety is definitely the spice of life. And I'm really heavy on my students being like, you don't have to just do these 3 like graded pieces. I'm really interested in programming. I'd love to put on concerts later on in my career. I think it's so important, and to have like different genres in the same concert, just like where it like would pull in such different audiences, and then it all combines and everyone learns from like all the different things that they just digested.
I think it's going to be a concerted effort from everybody in the industry, whether that's, you know, like you say, the people who are programming concerts or artist management or the teachers at conservatory or the teachers in whole class or whatever. I think it's going to take a concerted effort from everybody to kind of change the future of education through COVID-19, especially, you know, arts and you know, entertainment and music and everything that's been part of people's daily lives, to kind of helping them continue on. And now is a good time to kind of think, well, how can we emerge out the other side and start to kind of, you know, rebuild things in a way that is just going to grow.
The most important thing is in education, in schools, in programming, having people of colour from history and composers now, as much in the canon, in the programming throughout all the different orchestras, quartets, institutions, is so important. So, May, what are you up to after COVID? What are your plans?
Well, I guess what's next generally is kind of just elevating myself with teaching. I've done something really mad and started a master's degree. Like you said earlier, variety is the spice of life, and for me, I thrive on variety. I can't do the same thing all the time. So I've got obviously my teaching bits and bobs, but a few kind of music for social change projects, a few actual cross-genre playing projects.
I did my master's in conducting as well as cello, so I'm hoping to do some more.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's so exciting.
I'm hoping to do more of that when there can be more than one person in a room. I have a lot of faith that we'll be fine after COVID. I think it's not going to be the end of the art. Just the normal thriving freelancing culture is my aspiration.
I think it's really inspiring for everybody to kind of, you know, have some optimism.
Every day I wake up and I love what I'm doing, whether it is teaching or whether it is getting a plane to play a concert abroad, or whichever part of my musical life it is. I'm just so grateful that like none of it is a chore.
Elodie Chousmer-Howelles is 22 years old and student at the Royal Academy of Music. You may also remember her from previous AYM concerts, including our 20th anniversary celebration at Wilton's Music Hall.
Hi, I'm Elodie. I play the violin and I'm currently studying at the Royal Academy of Music in London with Sasha Sitkovetsky. AYM has been really supportive to me over the years. My first experience with AYM was when I was about 6. I was with my first violin teacher and AYM kindly supported the cost of my violin lessons, which was a massive, massive help. And when I was 15, studying privately with Maciej Rakowski, again, AYM generously supported the cost of that tuition, which made it easier for me to pursue my musical goals at the time. But in addition to the financial support, what's been really incredible are the performance opportunities that AYM has found me. It can be quite difficult looking for opportunities to perform on your own, especially as a young musician. And those performances really gave me an opportunity to try things on stage and develop confidence. One of my favourite events that AYM has put on over the years was just a few years ago at Wilton's Music Hall, which is an incredible venue. And it was an amazing event that really celebrated music. It brought together so many different musicians, people who were being supported by AYM at the time and people who had been supported by AYM in the past. And it was a lovely, lovely day of music making, one that I'll never forget. I've chosen to record 2 movements from Wynton Marsalis's Fiddle Dance Suite, which he dedicated to the Scottish virtuoso Nicola Benedetti. Nicola has been a massive inspiration to me, and I've been really lucky to have received mentoring and support from her over the years. The first movement is called Sidestep Reel, and it draws on so many different sources of inspiration, from Scottish fiddle playing to bebop, jazz. There's even elements of Baroque in there. It's so fun. It's one of these pieces that you can try and dance to, but you probably trip up. It's so fast. And the second movement is called As the Wind Goes, and it really draws on the Afro-American spirituals and gospels. I hope you enjoy my performance.
Thank you, Elodie. That was superb. And now for our final performance from 19-year-old cellist Willard Carter. Willard first played at an AYM event when he was just 11 years old. I'm sure some of you will remember that evening, which was kindly hosted by one of our angels. Willard is now studying at the Escuela Superior de Música Reina Sofía in Madrid. Like Mathilde and Zara, Willard has had 8 years of support from us, and he's gone from strength to strength. He's performed for AYM many times, including the Charterhouse, and he even puts on his own fundraising concert for us in Oxford. Keeping in line with the violinists, he'll be performing Paganini's Variations on a Theme by Rossini, accompanied by Ophelia Montalvan.
Hi, my name is Willard Carter. I am 19 years old and right now I'm in Madrid, studying at the Escuela de Música Reina Sofía. I have been supported by AYM for over 8 years, and during all that time I have learned and grown so much, and that's thanks to AYM. Without them, I never would have had the opportunities or the experiences that have brought me on the journey that I am on now. Today, I would like to play a piece by the violin virtuoso Niccolò Paganini, and it's his Variations on the Theme of Moses, which is taken from Rossini's opera Moses in Egypt. It's a really fun piece that is originally written for violin and is only supposed to be played on one string, and for me that's the A string. It has so many different colours and characters, and throughout the whole piece you can hear these Egyptian motifs. I really love it, and I hope you do too. I would like to say a huge thank you to AYM for this opportunity and for the continuous support.
That was stunning. Thank you so much, Willard.
AYM has been incredibly busy since our last online concert in November. For example, we hosted our very first online awards day in late February, part of a long-term collaboration with the BBC Symphony Orchestra, in which 150 young musicians took part in a wide range of instrumental workshops, plus sessions on a variety of topics, such as careers beyond the stage, songwriting, higher education in music, and much more. May and I were the hosts. Yes, we're making a bit of a habit of it, aren't we? And we even had a virtual award ceremony at the end of the day, where we showed a film of award winners and their certificates, with the calligraphy on each certificate, courtesy of our own CEO, Hester's father.
Carolyn, the mother of one of the young musicians participating, said this about the day. Thank you so much for yesterday. It was a really well organised and fantastic event. The speakers were really super to listen to. I can only imagine how amazing they must be to meet in person. Lily is really enjoying her bass lessons thanks to AYM and feels very privileged to be part of the AYM family. It is a wonderful organisation. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
And that's not all. Our Furthering Talent programme is getting busier by the day now that we're working with 15 music education hubs. We've been running a plethora of online teachers forums, discussing how we can make music education as fair and accessible as possible, plus some fantastic get-together events, including several exploring South Asian music. Our Talent to Talent mentoring programme is up and running now that we're emerging from the pandemic, and our fellow alumni have also been mentoring Furthering Talent students too.
Our fabulous patrons have been continuing to work with us. Just before Easter, we ran 2 sessions for the young jazz musicians we support, led by AYM patron and award-winning saxophonist Shabaka Hutchings. He's writing a book called Letters to a Young Musician and was keen to talk to these young people to share and discuss some of his ideas and experiences on creativity, improvisation, and much more. And earlier this month, AYM patron and classical guitar superstar Milos Karadalic led a masterclass for the young guitarists we support. Talking of patrons, we've also appointed a brand new patron whom we'll be introducing to you at our next online concert in early June.
None of this would be possible without our supporters, individual donors, trusts and foundations, public funders and legators. If you could help us, that would be fantastic, particularly through a regular gift. Set up your donation or find out more via the links below. You can join our mailing list there too.
And as always, we say your time and your contacts are also hugely valuable to us. Please do spread the word by telling others about our work. The new to AYM link below will take you to the latest information to share with them. Thank you.
We do hope you've enjoyed tonight's event. All being well, we'll see you in person soon.
Many thanks and goodbye for now.